curator watches in horror as the guard pours liquid on the golden egg and the surface starts dissolving. The outer shell melts away, leaving nothing but cheap filler inside. The agent orders his team to lock down the museum, but before the security door closes, someone in the crowd bolts and slips through at the last second. Agent Johnson slides under the door and chases him down, almost grabbing him, but the automatic glass door slams shut and traps Johnson outside. The thief flips his jacket inside out, clips on a bow tie, and walks past security like a tourist. He thinks he is home free until he spots the female agent blocking the exit. He is not worried though. It is just one woman. Booth escapes through the smoke and chaos, then runs straight into her at the corner. Johnson catches up, and the chase is back on. Booth runs circles around the huge agent, weaving through scaffolding and construction zones. Johnson checks the museum layout and predicts exactly where Booth's headed, cutting him off perfectly. Booth backs toward the window while dodging Johnson's lunges. Johnson demands the egg, but then the floor gives out and they both crash through. They both grab the ledge just in time. Even hanging from a building, neither one will let go of the backpack. Booth spots a trash chute below and drops. Johnson grabs a ladder, slides down, and blocks Booth again. Booth jumps off the roof and lands on an awning to break his fall. He hops on a scooter and takes off while Johnson looks for a vehicle. Johnson jumps into a Porsche that is on display, ready for a high-speed chase, but a bus T-bones him at the intersection and turns the Porsche into scrap metal. Johnson can only watch as Booth disappears into the streets of Rome. 2 days later, Booth's back at his secret island base. He is sipping champagne and admiring the golden egg when he hears a voice behind him. Booth spins around in disbelief. Johnson's sitting on his couch, and Interpol agents are flooding in with guns drawn. Booth's caught red-handed with nowhere to run. The female agent takes the egg and locks it in a case. But on the way back to headquarters, things go sideways. One of the officers working with Johnson gets greedy and swaps the real egg with a fake. He makes the switch when Johnson steps out to check the truck door. The driver says the back door's loose, so Johnson goes to inspect it. He checks the egg, sees nothing wrong, and walks away, not knowing the real thief is under the truck. That thief is the bishop, and when the senior agent confronts Johnson, she drops the egg on the ground and it shatters into pieces. She accuses Johnson of the swap because $8 million just appeared in his account. He had motive, opportunity, and the money trail. Every piece of evidence points to him. Johnson's arrested and sent to a maximum security prison on a Russian mountaintop. The only way in or out is by plane, and it is full of the world's most dangerous criminals. As the cell door closes, he hears a familiar voice. His cellmate is Booth, the guy he just arrested. The two enemies who can't stand each other are now locked in the same cell. Booth explains that the golden eggs were treasure from an Egyptian pharaoh. There is a third egg, and a billionaire once promised a reward for all three. Whoever brings all 3 eggs to his daughter's wedding gets $500 million. Booth knows where the third egg is, but Johnson just wants to clear his name. Before they can argue, the warden calls them in, and when she turns around, Johnson recognizes her immediately as the bishop, the master thief who framed him. The bishop admits she framed Johnson and tipped off the cops about Booth. She wants to eliminate the competition. Her deal, tell her where the third egg is and she'll get them both released. But Booth's a thief with a code, and he flat out refuses to cooperate. The bishop's in no rush and gives them a few days to think it over. To beat her to the egg, Johnson and Booth decide to team up and break out. First, they swipe a bar of soap in the showers. Then, while working laundry detail, they extract key chemicals and combine them with industrial cleaner. Within minutes, they've created a powerful explosive using only prison supplies. The explosion turns the laundry room into chaos. Johnson uses his sheer strength to take down a guard, while Booth wraps a towel around another guard's neck and chokes him out. Booth deflects an attack with the towel and locks the guard in a chokehold. Working together, they clear the doorway guards, but another locked door blocks their escape. Turns out Booth lifted a keycard on Johnson's first day inside. They swipe through, but the tower guard gets an alert the second they're out. Johnson blocks the exit while the guard's on the phone. They sprint to a section of wall they'd weakened earlier. Booth pulls out one support stone, and the wall collapses into a gap. But the real challenge starts now. The prison sits on a snowy mountain peak. One wrong move and they're dead. They inch along the icy cliffside as guards burst through the door and spot the hole. Booth turns the corner just in time. The guards miss them, but then they dodge that danger, but the next problem hits fast. Johnson leans out and sees guards patrolling the main gate, and the only way out is a helicopter on the far side. Luckily, one of the patrol guards recognizes Johnson, which gives them an opening to ambush him. They split up. Johnson holds off the guards closing in, while Booth makes a run for the helicopter. The pilot spots Booth coming and reaches for his gun, but Booth saw that coming. Johnson's out of ammo, and Booth can't read any of the Russian labels in the cockpit. In a panic, he flips every switch, and by pure luck, the engine roars to life. Johnson sprints for the chopper, but a guard pulls out a rocket launcher. Johnson grabs the dangling rope at the last second, but as he starts to climb, more guards flood out behind him. Booth sees Johnson hanging on for dear life. He yanks the stick and lifts off. Booth's wild flying buys Johnson just enough time. Seeing Booth about to leave him behind, Johnson goes full sprint and launches himself into the air. Johnson launches himself off the cliff edge and catches the rope. While they're arguing, an alarm blares in the cabin. Johnson turns and sees a missile locked on them. The guards have them in their sights. They barely dodge the missile. They make it out alive. Following the intel, they head to Valencia, Spain. The second egg is in the hands of an international arms dealer. They go undercover at a masquerade ball the dealer's throwing. Inside, Johnson spots the bishop across the room. Johnson walks up to her and says he is going to arrest her himself. She just smirks, because now he is a fugitive too. The two of them dance a tense waltz, each one testing the other. While they circle each other, the arms dealer notices the bishop and walks over, drawn in by her. Johnson sees the dealer take the bait. He bumps into the dealer on purpose and lifts his phone without anyone noticing. Meanwhile, Booth grabs the dealer's glass with his fingerprints on it. They slip into a blind spot. Booth uses a device to loop the security feed on a static frame. They sneak into the vault room. Booth lifts the fingerprint off the glass, unlocks the phone, and pulls the randomized door code. That wakes up the biometric scanner. Finally, Booth uses AI to clone the dealer's face and voice and clears the last lock. The egg's right in front of them, but the bishop beats them to it. The bishop picks up a spear while Johnson blocks with a golden shield. Booth refuses to back down. Against Wonder Woman's weapons, both men can only dodge without fighting back. The arms dealer gets an alert about the break-in and rushes to the vault. The bishop grabs Booth just as he reaches for the egg and slams him into Johnson. The bishop wins the fight and takes the egg, but the arms dealer catches him. Then something crazy happens. The bishop just hands over the egg because they were working together the whole time. They want to capture Booth and force him to reveal where the third egg is. The arms dealer starts torturing them with electric shocks to get the location of the third egg. When Johnson's life is on the line, Booth finally talks. The bishop has heard rumors about the third egg, so he believes Booth's story. The arms dealer and bishop celebrate with champagne, but one sip later, the arms dealer collapses because the bishop poisoned the bottle. In this world, if you think you found the perfect partner, you're probably the mark. The arms dealer wakes up groggy, grabs a revolver, and unloads on both of them. He misses every shot and burns through all his rounds. They escape and head to the South American jungle, but Booth gave the bishop a fake address. The real clue is hidden in an old watch his father left him. It has coordinates from World War II, where the Nazis hid stolen treasure. After 3 days of searching, Johnson throws his compass down in frustration. It hits metal, and when they dig, they find a buried hatch. It is the entrance to a sealed Nazi bunker. Inside, they find rooms full of perfectly preserved antiques. The third egg is sitting in a wooden crate, but when they grab it, the bishop appears. He never believed Booth's fake story and just followed them the whole time. Booth is about to hand over the egg when the police show up and start shooting, so all three have to work together to escape. They fire up an old car while the cops chase them in a World War II military truck. It turns into a wild chase through the underground tunnels. Booth crawls out of the water clutching the egg, exhausted. Then he sees something he'll never forget. Johnson was never a real agent. From the museum encounter to the prison breakout to the jungle, it was all staged to use Booth's tracking skills to find the last egg. Booth's emotions made him lose to two cold professionals who trusted each other completely. The best con isn't a lie, it is a shared experience that feels real. They tie Booth to a tree and head to Egypt for a billionaire's daughter's wedding. They trade all 3 eggs for $500 million in reward money. But then Interpol surrounds the wedding and seizes the eggs and the billionaire's assets. Johnson and the bishop had already tipped off Interpol about the billionaire's illegal operations. They closed the case in exchange for their freedom. Soon they're on a yacht in the Mediterranean, drinking wine in the sun. Then an uninvited voice interrupts. Booth walks out from below deck because he escaped during the prison transport, and he reported Johnson and the bishop's offshore accounts to Interpol. Now all three have red notices, the highest level of international warrant. These 3 backstabbing thieves start a new round under the sunset, and the game begins again.